It's the weekend. One thing I've come to realize is the weekend means different things to different people. For some, it's a chance to retreat into their spaces and not resurface until it's time to return to work. For the religious, it's the opportunity to worship, especially on religious days. For others, it's a chance to get active and rejuvenate the body. And for me, it's a chance to retreat, perhaps get a bit active, get ever so slightly deeper into my head, and get my affairs in order. We're all very different. Some of us have different ways in which we change our bedding. One of the most controversial ways to make people uncomfortable is ask them how frequently they change theirs, and ask it in a public setting. You'll get a plethora of answers. Now, I've seen whole arguments crop up around that. People who've been friends for years suddenly give each other the side eye when the question gets asked. Girlfriends start distancing themselves from boyfriends. It's a very loaded question, as it gives us the chance to judge others. Now, I like to change mine at least once a week, preferably Sunday morning, but honestly, whenever I get that burst of energy, sometimes much sooner. If anything changes or it has been a particularly uncomfortable night, perhaps more frequently. One thing we often fail to do is link sheet changing with depression. I really do think there is some sort of link. Now, I must admit, I'm no psychologist, but the times I've failed to change my sheets have been the times when I've been down. I've also noticed these patterns in other people too. Changing my sheets resets my brain. The smell of freshly laundered sheets highlights a new beginning and new things to come in the week ahead. For me, it symbolizes change, aspiration, and perhaps movement away from stagnation. I feel if we all got into these little mindful routines, our lives would be all the better. Putting things away, cooking, cleaning, dusting, picking things off the floor. It all matters and is extremely crucial to our mental health. It might sound trite, but it's a life changer. When we lived in our London home, no one particularly liked using the dishwasher or emptying it, so we all relied on hand washing instead. Looking back, I can sort of see what a hassle it was, having to rinse, load, and unload after it was all done. However, certain actions and habits lead to a much better quality of life. I'm now one for organization, or rather, I had to learn to be. You know all those lessons our parents tried instilling in us when we were children? All those habits they tried to get us to have? Well, here we are as adults, and those habits and lessons are either breaking us or helping us sort our lives out. And I love it. We've all come full circle. One thing I never thought I would see as an adult was all the cleaning it took to keep things running. I don't know how possible it is, but if you told me as a child that I would be cleaning every day as an adult, I wouldn't believe you. I honestly don't understand how those with large families do it. How can the kitchen counter need cleaning multiple times a day? Anyway, it is what it is. There seems to be a new movement around bathing, and there have been one or two characters declaring rather proudly that they shower once a week or much less than that. I don't know if it's a bit for attention, but showers are important to me, as they are to so many. My skin feels cleansed, and the feeling of the water droplets against my skin is profound. It's rejuvenating. It's almost like being reborn. I dare to say it's definitely therapeutic. Bathing for me is an absolutely essential part of my health and my routine, no matter what the more bizarre content creators say. Walking is also essential for me. I did have a New Year's Eve or a New Year's plan of things I wanted to do and accomplish. I fell short of most of them, I must admit, but as long as I pick them up again, I'll be fine. One of them is walking. I've been doing as much walking as the weather will allow me to. It's not particularly easy at the moment as this weather is causing me to sweat constantly, which I'm not used to. However, my dogs love it and I love it, and as long as we're doing it safely in all this heat, that's what matters. I also have an absolute hankering for a kebab, and I haven't had one in ages, so a quick trip to a kebab shop a few miles away is in order. I haven't been here since January, so I've done well to keep away. I also picked up some straw mats someone had consigned to the donation heap in my building, and I'm sure I can make good use of it on my balcony. I rewatched some of my favourite series with raffles. Guinness was somewhere doing something. And finally, to round off my day, I've been invited round to a friend's place for a hangout, usually involving a glass of wine and lots of talking. He and his partner live a short distance away. I say this so many times when I'm ever aware of trying to incorporate time spent with friends, as it is such a healthy pastime and a good way to reset my brain. I'm very picky with who I spend time with, but it's absolutely a pleasure to have friends call me up at the weekend and want to make plans. Nothing boisterous allowed, just laughter, talking, exchanging ideas, jokes, laughter and wine. They always seem to have good wine. Days like this might seem tedious, even boring to some. So many believe in a wild weekend that is packed with social events and lots of invites to an assortment of places that cost half a week's wages to get into. And that is just the entry fee, not accounting for drinks, perhaps food, and all the other ways we choose to spend money in our bid to be seen and noticed. That has never appealed to me. It never appealed to me then, and it certainly doesn't appeal now. All that noise and confusion just made me irritable, confused, and anxious. I never had a quiet moment to myself, as I was always trying to keep up with them all, even though I didn't want to. One thing I was fortunate to learn very early on was the power of friendship, and how having a good solid friendship group was the best thing you could do for yourself.
Oh, okay.
That was the best reset of all.
Right.
And I'm grateful for all the lessons in watching my family members and their very healthy friendships. I'm on my way home now, and I'm exhausted from laughing. It's been a lovely day, peaceful, quiet, and filled with laughter. And all that is left to do is toilet my dogs and go to sleep. Thanks for watching.